Welcome back. Again, this is Paint with Faith Live, Facebook Live. About 1 minute to go before we start at 1 p.m. Again, Chevins Davis here, your life coach, your master artist. Here bringing those two things together that give you Paint with Faith motivation. We're very excited to have you join in again. And we're really excited about what's going on this week because we've been able to do 5 classes. We've served over 500 people in the capacity of a virtual class, and we're looking to be able to expand that to more people and even all over the world. We want to be able to touch as many as possible. One of our vision in our company is to paint the world with faith. So we really want to be able to establish a situation where many people can join in. They can be a part of what we're doing. They can get motivated. They can learn some art lessons. They can get motivated if they want to learn art, and they can do art. And even if they don't want to get motivated, they will get motivated. And we're very excited to be able to have that process go into them. Again, we are Paint with Faith. My name is Chevins Davis. We're very excited. Again, this is the last day of our spring break this Friday, and we're going to be able to finish our series. We've done 5 paintings so far. And so far, we've done a beautiful landscape. And I'll take you back really quick to what we've been doing. And you can also go back and see what other processes that you can learn, what other steps you can learn to take to better yourself in the process of art and in the process of motivating yourself. So the first thing we did was this beautiful landscape step by step last Friday. So this was an example that you can follow along with on our Facebook page. So we did this beautiful landscape step by step. You don't have to be a master artist. You don't have to have any art experience. Just follow along. Again, the process is painting with faith. So you could just follow along and see what we're doing. And then we went ahead and did this colorful parrot step by step. You can follow the process, go back through the page, like it, give it some hearts, share it. Let us know what you think. You know, we want to be able to see some of the work that you've done through the process of our class and see, you know, what we can do better, what we can change. I want you to give some comments. I want you to be interactive. I want to see what have you done to be inspired by what we're doing, and that's our goal, to be able to inspire. About 8 years ago, I made a decision as an individual to at least inspire one person a day, and now, you know, I'm blessed to be able to inspire hundreds of people a day, and we want to be able to continue to do that with Paint with Faith. And then we moved on to do one of my favorites, the flower inside the vase. This is a very fun class. Again, you can go back step by step, see the process of what we done, and you can do it on your own. Again, you can use any materials to do that as well. I had a couple students from the church. They did a painting class as well, but they used markers on a poster board, and it came out phenomenal. You can see that also. I'll post that on my page as well. We want you to be motivated. And then on yesterday we did this, well, not yesterday, but this week we also did this fancy turtle. All right, the fancy turtle, a lot of details. It doesn't have to be average. It doesn't have to be green. It can be any color you want. It can be exciting with this one. And then I'm going to step off screen for a second because I left it over here. And on yesterday, we did this beautiful butterfly. Again, you can watch step by step the process of us doing that. All right, beautiful. And you know, this is the process that you can follow along with. It was a very fantastic. I'll also show some of the samples that people sent to me as well. And again, you don't need expensive materials. You don't need anything that's going to, you know, break the bank for you. Art materials can be expensive. If you have the money to get them, go ahead and get them. You can go to Joann's Fabrics. You can go to Michael's. You can even go to Walmart and get some materials as well. Some of the dollar stores also have some materials. It may not be the best materials, but you'll be able to do the process of the class. You'll be able to learn the lessons as well going forward. And we're very excited to have you a part of on this class today. So before we get started, of course, we want you to get you motivated. So Paint with Faith is a company, that a motivational painting company, and we travel to any location, bringing you the canvas, bringing you the paint, bringing you the easels and everything. And we have a whole nice setup for you to do the painting class as well. So that's what we're about. But we also want to give you motivation. So before you begin, I want you to say to yourself, you can say it out loud. A lot of times you need to have these words of affirmation to be able to get yourself activated. So we always do this at our class. We say, if you believe, And when you say it, I want you to say it with some true conviction, true excitement. If I believe, I can achieve. And with those words, you can be able to move forward in your life and be able to achieve some of the goals that you may have set for yourself. If you wanted to be a new student, if you want to go back to college, if I believe I can achieve. If you want to be a dancer or learn a new dance, if I believe I can achieve. If you want to be an entrepreneur, you need to say to yourself, if I believe I can achieve. If you're a kid and you want to learn how to ride a bike, if I believe I can achieve. If I want to be better at math, English, writing, if I believe I can achieve. Whatever you believe in your mind, you can be able to achieve, but you first have to be able to believe it within yourself. And so with Paint with Faith, we also believe that there's three things or three components that you need to be successful. One, you need motivation. We're here to give you motivation. We're going to get you excited, let you know the steps you need to take, activate you, get you motivated through the class. The next thing you're going to need is some guidance. We're going to walk you step by step through the process of the painting. And then lastly, you got to be able to have some faith or belief in yourself. And so with those things, if you can complete this class with just a canvas, with just a blank canvas, and be able to create something or manifest something that you've never done before, then what else could you achieve in your life with just some motivation, with just some guidance, and just with some faith or belief in yourself? What else could you achieve? All right, what dreams, aspirations, or desires do you have that you can now achieve because you've been motivated, because you have been guided? You know, maybe you had a mentor or a coach, and most of all, you need to be able to have that faith within yourself. Now, we say that faith is a muscle, and this Paint with Faith class is a faith exercise. In order to build that muscle, you got to be able to flex that faith. You got to be able to exercise that faith. And having a blank canvas and creating a picture is another way that you can exercise your faith. It's a small example, but it's an objective lesson. Because you may have not taken any steps with your faith before in this type of direction, this is just an example of how you can go from the unknown and manifest it to the known. Now you can take a lesson that you've never learned and bring it to a lesson that you now have. So whatever you need to learn in life, you got to be able to go through a process and be able to build and go to that next level. All right. So today we're going to be painting one of my favorite paintings. We're going to be painting the lighthouse. And I mean, I love this painting so much because lighthouse gives you direction. My favorite book says, without vision, the people perish. And so we're going to be painting a lighthouse because without vision, many sailors will perish. All right. I'm going to tell you a quick story about a sailor. And so this sailor had a nice ship, but he was driving and he was steering, in a storm, in a bad situation. It was raining, it was cloudy, and the storm was raging. And so he's trying to get to his destination. He's pushing as hard as he can, trying to get to that destination, and the sailor was pushing. And all the while, the waves was hitting his boat. The water was getting into his boat. He was getting despair. He was getting discouraged. He was getting frustrated with the things that was going on in his life. And as he was trying to steer the ship, he was making no headway. And so in the background, one of his crew members was screaming, "Captain, Captain!" And the sailor could not hear him. So he was screaming, "Captain, Captain!" But all the while, the crew member was screaming, "Captain!" The waves were hitting him. He was sliding against the boat, left and right. He had to hold on to the rails just to make his way to the captain. And so the captain, still frustrated, trying his best to steer. He wouldn't quit. He wouldn't give up. He kept pushing forward. And all the while, the crew member was screaming, "Captain, Captain, Captain, Captain." And finally, the crew member got close enough to touch the captain on the shoulder. He touched the captain on the shoulder. He said, "Captain, Captain." He says, "What do you want? Don't you see I'm trying to steer this ship? Don't you see we're in a bad situation? I'm trying to save our lives. We're trying to make us back home." And so he says, "Captain, Captain, look." And he pointed in the opposite direction. And in the opposite direction, there was a lighthouse. And he says, "Captain, we're going the wrong way." So I want you to think about that. What in your life has your storms brought you to? Which direction will you go when you're going through a storm? Which direction will you turn when things are getting dark? When the water is hitting you? When you're in despair? When you're discouraged? What direction will you be going? Sometimes you got to be able to look back to the things that are sending you in the wrong direction. You got to be able to understand that sometimes these situations that are banging you up, that are beating you down, that are taking you through some frustrating or despairing times, because you're going in the wrong direction. So you got to be able to see the signs of your life. The storm, the raging wind, sometimes they're sending you in the wrong direction, and you need to go to a direction that the light is shining. All right. So again, that's your motivation for today. That's your story for today. You can take that home with you. And I want you to think about, through your storms, through your trials, through your tribulations, through your time of despair, discouragement, through your times of distraction and frustration, what direction are you going? Or are you going in the right direction? And you need to be thinking about that if you're going through some trying times at this time. All right, so again, we're ready. We're going to be doing a lighthouse on today. And I want you to remember that you don't need the paint materials that I'm using, all right? We're painting with canvas and we're painting with acrylic. But if you have markers or crayons or color pencils or just a regular pencil or even pens, colorful pens, you can do this assignment. I mean, the steps will be the same, but I just want you to be able to have the experience, have the lesson, to be able to take within yourself and understand, most important, that you got to be able to achieve the goal. And achieving the goal is doing something that you've never done before, reaching it to the end of the course and being able to be inspired, being able to be encouraged, and being able to flex your faith muscle, all right? Again, in order to build faith, you got to always exercise. In order to get bigger muscles, you got to be able to exercise it. And we're talking about building your faith with Paint with Faith classes and exercising your faith with Paint with Faith classes. And most of all, we want you to be able to feed your faith. And I want you to starve your fears to death. So I want you to keep feeding that faith and let your fears fade out in the background. So let's get started. We're using a 9x12 canvas on today, and we're going to go horizontal this time. Again, we're going to be able to paint a landscape. All right, we're going to be doing a lighthouse. So if you have your materials, follow along. Make sure you bring the kids in, bring your senior citizens in. We're doing this for the last day at 1 p.m. of spring break. Take the old videos, share them, go back and watch the old videos. All right, they won't be up long, but you got to be able to get them done before the time passes. And if you're going to do a class with us, I want to see your results. I want to see what you did, and there's a prize for you at the end if you post that and send it to us as well. So again, we're going to be doing the lighthouse, one of my favorite paintings because it reminds us that even through darkness there is some light. And so we're going to be painting that lighthouse on today. So let's get started. All right, the first thing we want to do, we're going to grab our big brush. Again, we're using Taklon brushes. We're not using the wooden brushes, at least for kids, because the wooden brushes, if you leave them in the water, the handle will swell and the rivets will come off the top, and then your brush is ruined. All right, so we're not going with wooden brushes for kids. They may be cheaper, but they also not last as long. So we're going to take our big brush and we're going to take blue, and we're going to split the page in half. All right, split the page in half. We also believe there's no mistakes in art, just room for opportunity. So nobody will make a mistake on today. You might make a happy accident. You may make a situation change. And again, we don't take L's in these class. We just learn lessons. All right. So we're going to paint our ocean right here. This is going to be our ocean. It can be a sea, it can be a lake, but we're going to paint it all blue. And we're going to paint it blue all the way down to the bottom. I like to paint left and right because that's the way the waves are going. All right, we don't want to go up and down because it really doesn't make any sense objectively. So we're going to go left and right. Again, if you want to make waves, all right, we just talked about the captain and the storm. So if you want to do different strokes that create the waves, you know, that's fine as well. You can be creative. And, you know, different artists have different techniques. And any style you do it is good for you because there's different techniques for every artist. I mean, if you look up some of the artists, and again, I was an art teacher for 12 years, so I'll give you some history art lessons within the class. But if you look at Renoir, Degas, all right, some of the Impressionists and the Impressionist movement, they all had different styles. All right, they had different strokes. Sometimes they use a very small brush and did a lot. Sometimes they use a very big brush. But you can see their work. That's why I was called Impressionist. You know, within their work, you can see their style within the work, the Impressionist movement. Look at Van Gogh. You can see every single stroke that he made. Thousands of strokes on each canvas. So it's okay to have your own technique. If you want to look at some more non-objective artists, you can look up Basquiat. Basquiat is an artist from the 80s. And if you look at his work, it'll make you feel good about your work. All right. So I always taught my students that Basquiat, his painting was bought by Jay-Z, Swiss Beats, you know, these big rappers that say his name in the songs. But if you look at his work, you know, his work looks like it's done by an elementary student. But yet Jay-Z paid about $4.5 million for one of his paintings. So it's okay to have your own style, all right? It's okay to have your own technique. And it's okay to express yourself through the means of art. All right, so be encouraged by what you're doing. This is your style. This is your way, okay? All right, let's keep working. I'm going to switch something real quick. All right, so when you find the time, go ahead and look up those artists. You can learn some art history. I'll teach you a little bit, you know, being an art teacher for so many years, you know, you got to be able to have your art history in there. And again, I'm a certified art teacher as well. So if you need some art lessons, I got your back. All right, we're mobile. We come to you. Right now, we're coming via, because of the distance that we have to have, we're coming via the internet. All right, that's looking good. How you liking that? Give me some thumbs ups. Give me some likes. Let me know what you think. Let me know that you're following along. All right, so that's the water right there. It's looking good. I made it kind of choppy because based on the example that we gave earlier, sometimes the water will get choppy. Sometimes you have some waves, some winds, and you got to be able to push through that situation. I'm going to leave the blue on my brush. We're going to mix it up. And before we begin, I'm going to ask the first art question for the day, pop quiz. You know, how do you make purple? So type it in, text it in, let me know how to make purple. That's going to be the first step of the day, the first art lesson for the day. You know, how do you make purple? Just put it, type it in. You get 10 points for doing that. I give you a gold star, and you could be able to move on and say, you know, I went to class today and I got extra credit. So put it in your text or type it. How do you make purple? All right. And while you're doing that, I'll just chop this up a little bit more. Just chop it up a little bit more while you put in your answers. All right. Princess, very good. A red and blue makes purple. You've been going to your art class. Hashtag Mr. Davis BTW. I'm proud of you. All right. So good. I'm glad some students learned from when I was there as a teacher. And you can see the example right here. So red and blue makes purple. So again, we don't want to contaminate the colors. Contaminating colors means taking one color and mixing up in the other one. I've had this experience in many classes where students, they just get so excited and they mix all the colors up. So we don't want to do that because we may want to go back to a certain color. So we'll take some blue over here. We'll take some red over here. It's very light, all right? Got a lot of red, a lot of blue in there. If you want to switch that up, add a little bit more red. Mix that in. Oh yeah, that's a beautiful, better purple. Make a lot because we're going to fill up the background with this. All right, we're going to fill the background up with this. So make enough to fill that background. Don't just make a little bit. I know some people get hesitant about using up the paint, but sometimes you just got to go for it. All right, so let's fill that up. Oh, that's a beautiful purple. Let's rock it. All right, so we got one A student so far. She got a gold star. We're going to take that purple and we're going to fill up half the sky. All right. We're going to fill up half so split the sky in half. Again, it doesn't have to be a perfectly straight line because we're going to mess it up anyway. So fill half the sky, make a line. And we're going to color that top piece dark purple. All right, we're going to color that dark purple. All right, fill that whole top area dark purple. Again, if you need to make some more purple, it's okay if you have different variants of that purple in there. That's fine. If you have like some red and some blue variants in there, that's okay. All right, that's okay. Let that work in there. See, I'll come back in with different shades of purple. Let those two work together. Let them mix. Let them blend. That's fine. All right, don't get caught up in the small stuff. Don't get caught up in the little thing. Let's make the main thing the main thing. The main thing is to get that sky. Again, paint left and right because the sky go left and right. The horizon go left and right. We're painting a horizontal picture one day, and we want to be able to go left and right. So go ahead and fill that top piece all purple. It's looking good. I know I'll paint a little bit faster than others, so I'll take my time and let you get that experience. And while you're doing that, just realize that today we're painting a lighthouse scene, a nice beautiful landscape. Light's going to be shining out, and it's going to encourage us as we look on it later on that sometimes the lighthouse will give us a guide. A lighthouse is a preventative measure for people who are riding along so that they don't hit the rocks that's going to be right there by the lighthouse. And this is for sailors, and this is for people that work on ships. And the lighthouse will save you from destruction because it's the light that guides you in the right direction. I want you to take that, put that in your pocket and take it with you as you go on in your life. All right, so that purple sky is looking really beautiful. I like the way the light is shining. Look at that. You see that sheen? That's beautiful. I like it. For me, that's what gets me high in my painting classes. All right. So we're gonna take that same purple, all right, that we've created. All right, we're gonna take that same purple. Now we're gonna take a little bit of white, We're gonna drop it in there. We're gonna mix it up and make a light purple. All right. So we're gonna mix it up and make a light purple. It's looking good, looking good. Light purple. That's nice. All right. So we're gonna turn our dark purple into light purple, and we're gonna fill in the rest of that section. All right, fill in that bottom section. And now, this is the key, guys. All right, and I find this through a lot of classes. This is the key. We got to be able to let the colors work together. That line that we created, we're painting that out. All right, we're painting that out. We don't want it to stay. So we're going to go left and right and left and right and work our way up until that line disappears. All right, until that line disappears. We're going left and right, left and right. I'm getting all the paint off my brush. All right, I'm going left and right. And if you feather your brush, which means like you're painting so light that you're barely touching the canvas, all right, you're gonna get a better blend. See how I'm gonna let that flow. I'm just gonna let it graze the top of that canvas. Let those colors blend. And we're gonna go from dark purple to light purple. Don't make it too light, because we're gonna throw some clouds in there. Again, my favorite thing to paint is clouds. And we're gonna throw some clouds in there, so don't make it too light, because then your clouds will kind of fade away. We don't want that. All right, again, you can straighten out your line. At this point, you can straighten out the line if you need to. I don't mind the line being crooked. It shows the imperfection of man. I don't want it to be perfect because I'm a human. I'm not a robot. All right, it's okay to have those things in there. We believe there's no mistakes in art, just room for opportunity. And we'll just go back in, clean it up. Now, when you're painting, and any art teacher will tell you this, any good art teacher at least, will tell you that you can't have any negative space in your painting, all right? When you're painting, you can't have any negative space in your painting. And what that means is that if you see any white patches in there, all right, your grade is gonna drop. So if I go around and I see you post a picture and you have white spaces in there, I'm dropping you from an A to a C immediately, all right? Now you gotta go back in and fill those spaces, all right? That was just for an example. See, I have some space over here. We need to color that. So negative space. Whenever you got space in your life, all right, you need to get that negative space out. You're not allowed to have negative space in your life. Everything you've been doing should be with purpose and on purpose, all right? Don't just have negative space in your life. You don't need negative people in your life. If you have negative people in your life, you got to paint them out, all right? Because with their negativity, they're going to bring you down. Now, see, I have some negative space. I'm just going to go back in and clean that up, all right? Clean that up. So I want you to make sure there's no negative space in that painting, all right? There should be no spaces. I shouldn't see the canvas at all anywhere, all right? Make sure you touch that canvas from side to side, top to bottom. Fill that up. All right, that's looking good. That's looking good. Now, my favorite part, all right? We're gonna put some clouds up there. And we wanna do it while the sky is kind of wet because we don't want the clouds to be too bright. All right, we want them to kind of just fade into the background and kind of be kind of hazy, because at nighttime or at sunset, the clouds are not so prominent. They kind of fade with the color of the sky. So that's what we're gonna do. So we're grabbing our big brush again. And this is a special technique, all right? So your art term for the day is dry brush technique. So text it in, type it so you can remember it. Dry brush technique. So you may say, Chevis, why is it called dry brush technique? Because we're gonna paint with a dry brush. How do you paint with a dry brush? Well, I'm going to show it to you, all right? So grab your big brush. Now, when you're painting clouds, it's better to use what's called a fan brush, or use a brush that's very soft. I mean, some of the brushes that you may have right now may be very coarse and may be very hard. The cheaper brushes are usually that way. The ones that have the hard black bristles, those are kind of hard, but you can still have the same effect when you do it with the right technique. All right, but it's better to do clouds with softer brushes. All right, you see how this brush easily is flexible. The hard, non-flexible brushes are kind of difficult, but we're gonna do it on today. We're gonna put the right technique with the right job. All right, so we're getting our big brush. Don't use a small brush. Big brush and white. And we're gonna do 3 humps. All right, I'm gonna give you the steps and then we'll do them. So we're gonna do 3 humps. All right, we're gonna go 1. We're gonna go 2. And we're gonna go 3. All right. Big hump, medium hump, small hump. All right. And y'all should know that when you go to McDonald's, Burger King, say big, large, medium, small. popcorn, large, medium, small. We're doing the same thing. So you're gonna have a large hump, medium hump, small hump. All right, we're just gonna make the line first. All right, we're gonna load up our brush. We're gonna make a line, big, medium, and small. All right, so go ahead and paint those clouds in. Don't be nervous when you paint either, and don't try to paint with just your wrist. All right, as you see, I'm not just painting with my wrist. All right, very tight. I want you to relax, get your arm loose, use your whole shoulder, use your whole elbow. When you paint, you need to be loose. All right, I'm not just making these short lines. I'm using my whole arm. 1, 2, 3. All right, so be loose, be relaxed. Art is therapeutic. You should feel like you had a good workout or massage after you finish this painting. All right, so I call it articize. Okay, that's how I stay in shape. If I look like a guy that stays in shape, I don't work out very often, but I do paint every single day. All right, so that's how I stay in shape. If you want to stay in shape, just articize. All right, the best workout you can get is painting a mural. Okay, maybe about 30-40 foot wall, and you work that every day. You're gonna get a good sleep. You're gonna be exercised. Your muscles will be bulging, and then you'll feel impressed with the work that you did after you finish. All right, so make sure you articize for the rest of this time, being that we're maybe stuck in the house. Yesterday we talked about being in a cocoon and coming out as a butterfly. That's exactly what this world situation has done. It's put us in a cocoon. And I said yesterday, and I'll say it again today, it bears repeating, that if you come out of this a cocoon of life and you're still the same, that's going to be a problem. All right, going to be very disappointed if you go on the other side of this and you came out the cocoon and you're still the same. You should come out as a beautiful butterfly on the end. All right, here we go. Dry brush technique. Big brush. All right, we don't need a lot of paint on our brush. All right, we're not going to go back until I tell you to go back. All right, we're going to use the dry brush technique. So with the dry brush technique, we're going to paint until our brush is completely dry and void of the white paint. All right, so we're going to follow the shapes. When we paint, we want to follow the shapes that we're doing. We're not going to go just left and right. We're going to curve and then pull the paint very lightly. All right, so we're taking the paint from this line. All right, because we loaded it up at the beginning, we're taking the paint from that line. And we're making a cloud very lightly, and we're just going to fade, keep going left and right with a curve and fade out. Same thing, going left and right and curve. We want those curves to overlap. Same thing, left and right and curve. Same thing. All right, you see that cloud? Now that we have our brush dry and the paint down, we're going to just feather, what's called feathering. Lightly, very lightly, with just the tips of the brush, fade those colors in. Fade those colors into the background. All right, fade them in. Very lightly fading them in. All right, we want this cloud to be kind of translucent, very lightly. The cloud doesn't have to be perfect, and we want it to fade all the way out. All right, it can fade down into the water, that's fine. But right now I'm just using just the tip of my brush. I want my brush to be very dry. The tips are dry. All right, the tips are dry. It's still paint on there, but the tips are dry, and I'm just gonna go back, kind of just feather this out very lightly, very lightly. You'll start to feel the friction of the brush against the dry canvas, and that's how we'll have our cloud. All right, that's looking good. That's the effect I'm looking for. Now, if you didn't have enough paint on your brush, all right, you can do it a step over. If you want your cloud a little bit brighter, you can do a step over. I'll show you. We're gonna do the same thing. All right, and we'll just pull out. But once you put it on, you gotta immediately pull out. Pull that paint right off the canvas. Very lightly, just barely touching the canvas. Just letting the tips, just the tip of the brush touch the canvas, all right? Again, we're not using a lot of paint on this step. Very lightly, letting the shapes overlap. It's okay to overlap. I'm just barely touching the canvas, I'm just doing this step. If you're happy with your clouds, you don't have to do this over. For the people who may not have gotten the effect that they wanted, I'm just doing it over for you, just to show you the technique. All right, barely touching the canvas. All right, barely. And we have a nice cloud. That's very nice. Okay, looking good. Now, if you want to create some more clouds, I'm going to show you a technique, but we need this space over here, so don't go crazy with the cloud. Actually, I'm not going to even show you. I changed my mind. Sorry, guys. We're just not going to make another cloud of there because we have greater things to move forward to. All right, so that's looking good. I'm gonna take that white that's already on my brush, mixed with that little bit of purple. I want that, and I'm just gonna throw it within the water. All right, I'm just gonna throw some of that in the water. If I got choppy water, I'm gonna do choppy lines. All right, we're pulling, pulling, tapping and pulling. All right, tap and pull. All right, if you got very calm water, you're just gonna go very light, going left and right. All right, but I got choppy water today. I'm just gonna chop, tap and pull, tap and pull. Just creating some variant light within the water. All right, some variant light within the water. Just chopping it up. Chopping it up. I'll even take a little bit more blue in there and chop it up again. All right, just to create some variation, just to create some contrast, some highlights. All right, create some motion in this water. We don't want it to be too boring. All right, if you need to go back in with the blue, if you don't like something, you can always paint it out. Again, there's no mistakes. Art, just room for opportunity. We're not making mistakes. We just create new opportunities in life. You may think you've made a mistake. You may think you messed up. May think you had a challenge in life. But again, that situation has always created a new opportunity for you. Whatever it is, you may have lost a job, is a new opportunity now. You may have had a child, didn't expect it, new opportunity. You may have gotten a job that you just had to take, new opportunity. Every step that you take is a process for you to create a new opportunity in life. And this very moment that the world is in is a new opportunity for every single person. Every single person that's on this earth right now has a new opportunity. A new opportunity to spend time with family, a new opportunity to start a business, a new opportunity to write a letter, a new opportunity to make this new post, new opportunity to invest, a new opportunity to be able to build up yourself, a new opportunity to be able to read a book, a new opportunity to watch a show that you've been wanting to watch. These are brand new opportunities for every single person on this earth right now to make a difference in their lives. Every business owner knows, and every person who's studied motivation or who have read the books, every single person knows that you have to be able to build yourself more than you build anything else. All right, you need to pour into yourself more than you pour into anything else. If you're building a business, build yourself even better. Read the books. Study what you need to study. You need to be able to pour into yourself more than you pour into anything else. You may be pouring into your kids all day and then you're empty, but you need to pour into yourself first so that when you pour into them, you won't be left empty. So now is the opportunity for you to be able to build yourself better than you've ever been before. And now is the chance and time, the opportunity for you to do that. All right. We've been given a great gift to be stuck in the house. All right. It's not time to just be unproductive. Now it's time to really crank it up. On the other side of this situation, you better be better at the end. If not, I'm going to be disappointed in you. So I want you to push yourself. Whatever books you need to read, whatever lessons you need to learn, what YouTube videos do you need to watch, what schools you need to go to, what challenges you need to overcome. Now is the time to be able to do it. All right. So we're talking about the lighthouse on today because the light is going to give us the direction that we need to go. All right. So far we've gotten the sky, and so far we've gotten this nice water. Let's start to build out our lighthouse. All right. So we're going to take the big brush. We're going to clean it off. Again, I'm using Taklon brushes. I think they're the most faithful brushes to me so far. You know, I've challenged and tried different ones. They're the most faithful. They don't have those little pieces hanging off on the edge. All right, they take a beating and keep on ticking. I've had these for a while now. All right, that's right. Got the secrets of the millionaire mind. That's right. Keep the secrets of the millionaire mind. Every day I post, every week I post a book. The top CEOs are reading 52 books a year. What books are you reading? I mean, if you can't sit and read, get an audio book, but you still need to get the information, all right? You still need to get that information, and it's out there for you. You just got to go ahead and grab it. All right, so let's get ready for the lighthouse. Big brush, we're going to grab black. Big brush and black, and we're going to create the rocky area right here where that lighthouse is going to reside. So I'm going to start in the middle of the water, and I'm going to work my way up. It doesn't have to be a perfectly straight line, all right? Whenever you see a perfectly straight rock, you let me know, okay? I haven't seen a perfectly straight rock yet in life. There's some smooth stones, but I'm talking about a rocky rock. If you see a straight rocky rock, let me know. All right, I'm not talking about crystals, but this is a very rocky area. So we're doing what's called the next art word for the day. All right, or your art term, organic lines. All right, organic lines are lines that's not perfectly straight. Mechanical lines, perfectly straight. Organic lines are free moving. They don't have a perfect shape. That's what we're going with today. So we're going to create an organic line, which would be kind of like the island. It would be kind of like the island that our tree will sit on. I mean that our lighthouse will sit on. All right. So we got this very rocky, bumpy line right there. Go ahead and fill that in. All right. So we draw that rocky line. Then we're gonna fill it in all black. Fill it in all black. All right. Fill it in all black. So excited to do this painting. I haven't done it in a while. All right, so we usually do this for senior citizens classes. Again, if you have a senior citizen that may live in a certain facility, we come to them. We're a mobile painting class. We come to them. If you have a senior citizen that's sitting at home today, sit down with them, get some art materials, go back and do this lesson with them. You got to be able to engage them, give them something to do, give them a sense of accomplishment. Again, we paint with senior citizens every day, and 80, 90 years old people, they never painted in their life. They feel so good when they finish. They have a sense of accomplishment. They have a beautiful painting on the other end, and they feel rewarded and relieved that they're able to do something that they've never done before. All right, and they can impress their friends. I did the painting with my dad when I started this company. My dad had never painted before in his life. I did a class with him. My dad is in his mid-70s now, and he was so excited to do his painting. I never painted with my mom before. She was so excited. She started calling people, telling them about her paintings. She was so excited. It made me feel good. It made her feel good. And we did something as a family. It was very encouraging for me and my business, and also for her. Again, it's a motivational painting class, but it does a lot for our family, and it does wonders for community and moving people together. And that's what our goal was, is to paint a world with faith. That's what our vision was, to make people believe that they can do all things if they put their mind to it, if they have the right motivation, if they have the right guidance, and if they have the right faith within themselves. That's what we're about with Painting with Faith. So that's already looking good to me, all right? We got a nice rocky island. Make sure you fill it in. We talked about negative space. We shouldn't have any negative space. Shouldn't see any cracks. Make that water, that rocks very dark and opaque. Make sure you fill that in very good. We're going to switch over to our small brush because we're going to do some details now. So we're going to switch over to our small brush. All right, if you want to save your brush, make sure you clean that brush out very well, or leave it in the water. Don't let it just sit and the paint dry, or it'll be ruined. All right, I'm going to take a sip of water real quick while you do that. Again, we're doing a lighthouse, and we got so far this rocky building, this rocky rocks, and we're going to put the building right on top. Now, keep in mind, we're going to be making a lighthouse, all right? So you got to be able to do the right proportions. Again, every painting is going to look different. Don't focus on my painting. Focus on your painting, all right? I'm giving you the steps, but you got to be able to focus on what you're doing, okay? Your painting is not going to look like mine. I got 30 years of experience. If you're not an artist and you don't have 30 years of experience, then your painting is not going to look like mine. But that's okay, because I'm just giving you the blueprint. I'm just giving you an example. When you see millionaires, you got to be able to look at the steps that they took, and the platform that they took, and the ways and the lessons and the mindset that they have to be able to get to what they're going to. But there's always a way for you to follow the lead, all right? So we're taking our small brush, and we're getting black, small brush and black. And all right, so most artists, before they begin anything, they have to be able to vision what they're doing. And that's why I love this painting, because this painting is about vision. Like I said, my favorite book says, where there is no vision, the people perish. So you got to have the vision of what we're about to do. And I'm going to give you 3 steps before we do them. Put it in your mind, have the faith that you can do it, and then get ready to do it, all right? And that's with any goal, all right? Put it in your mind, make a commitment to doing it, and then you can do it, all right? So we're going to make a lighthouse. We're going to kind of center it, all right, right here, okay? We want to have some space on the back end, and want to have plenty of space on the front end, because we got to make the light shining out into the sky, all right? So we're going to put the building right here. Don't go too high, all right? Don't go too low and have a short lighthouse. We want to have a nice medium-sized lighthouse, maybe 1 inch from the top, half an inch from the top, and you want to have all that space. Don't put it all the way over here, or you only have half a lighthouse. Don't put it all the way over here, because then you won't be able to put the light. So we want to center it right here, all right? You see that space? That's where we want it. All right, so we're getting our small brush, first of all, and we're going to do a straight line, as straight as we can do it. It doesn't have to be perfectly straight, all right? Again, there's no mistakes in art. It doesn't have to be perfectly straight, so we're going to put a line right here, all right? So start with a dot, all right? Now I'll do it close so everybody can see. Starting with a dot, coming down here. And usually when you give yourself reference points, it's easier to make a straight line. That's your little art tip for the day. If you give yourself reference points, your mind will register on how to do that line because you'll try to reach it, all right? I don't know if that's on point, but let's go for it. All right, so I give myself a reference point. I'm going to try to connect those dots. Boom. All right, doesn't have to be perfectly straight. Don't worry about that. All right, boom. It's looking good. Looking good, all right? Go ahead and make that line straight as possible. Give me some lights. Let me know what you think about what we're doing. All right, give me some hearts. Give me some comments. Ask some questions if you need to. This is an interactive class. I don't want to just be up here by myself. I want you guys to get involved, get active. Let me know what you think. So right now we're doing a straight line up and down. We're staying with the small brush in black, and we're going to create an arrow at the top. All right, it's going to look just like an arrow pointing up. All right, it's going to look like an arrow pointing up. All right, it's looking good. Bring that close so you can see it. It's an arrow pointing up. It's looking nice, looking nice. All right, from that, you guys remember how to do a triangle? I hope so. All right, so if you remember how to do a triangle, we're going to close that up, make it a triangle. All right, close that up and make it a triangle. All right, so far so good. It's looking good. Very nice. I see the hearts. I see the lights. I appreciate that. Appreciate that. Listen, you can do this with any material, all right? Color pencils, markers, crayons. Just follow the steps. It's going to be easy. Make sure you do the background first and then do the foreground right on top of that. You from the background to the middle ground. Background is the sky. Middle ground is the water. Foreground is going to be the lighthouse, all right? Got your art terms for the year. All right, that's looking good. Now, right underneath that triangle, all right? We're going to make a line. We're going to give ourselves a little space. All right, I'm giving you tips that you may not get in a normal class. Give you a little space, and we're going to make a line right underneath it. Give yourself maybe about a centimeter or half an inch. We're going to make a line right underneath, a little bit longer than the triangle. A little bit longer than the triangle. All right? A little bit longer than the triangle. That's good. All right, then you guys remember rectangles. I know a lot of times people are out of school so long, they forget all this stuff, you know? Because they're not doing art every day. They're not doing math every day. They may not even be doing English every day. But these quick lessons will help you get back acclimated to stuff that you learned way back. They'll connect you to a teacher, your favorite teacher, or your worst teacher. All right, some of those situations. Tell you a quick story. I had a senior citizen client. She walked in. She says, I'm not here to paint. She says, painting stresses me out. I said, no problem, no worries. So she came in. She says, I'm here for the gathering. I'm here to talk to people. I'm here to communicate and fellowship, but I'm not painting. Painting is stressing me out. She said it twice. And she said, I came at this particular event. They had some wine. She said, I'm here to drink my wine and talk to people. I said, no problems, ma'am. So she sat down. People were coming in. Hey, you going to paint? No, I'm not painting. Painting stresses me out. I don't like to paint. Every time I paint, I mess up. I don't know how to crochet. I hate art. She came to this class and she said this. And of course, that's not what my company is about. We're about motivation, keeping a pure, positive attitude, keeping positive energy. But she said it about 3 or 4 times again. And right before the class started, I did my opening, and like I do every class. I said, if you believe you can achieve, everybody attested to that. And once you believe you can achieve, you can be able to do these classes. And so I gave her my spiel. I said, there's no mistakes in art. There's just room for opportunity. And with those things said, you can push out all your inhibitions and be able to do this class. But she was still kind of focused on her statement. She says, I hate art. I can't stand art. I don't want to do art. Every time I do art, it's stressing me out. And somebody asked, how does art stress you out? I said, art is relaxing. She says, no, I don't want to do it. So we didn't pressure her. So we started the class and did my opening. I did my motivation. And everybody, I said, grab your brush and start to paint. And I looked her dead in the eye and I said, hey, if you're feeling creative, go ahead and pick up that brush. And that day, she got rid of her inhibitions and she painted a beautiful painting, because you got to be able to get yourself out of the way sometimes. You got to be able to push yourself out the way sometimes and achieve the goals that you don't even think you can achieve. All right, some of your past, you got to be able to push and leave it in the past. We see Lion King. Forget it. It's in the past. All right? That knot on your head, it may still be there, but the hit was actually in the past. So I want you to know that you can be able to move forward and be great and be a whole nother person in your life if you can let go of your past, if you let go of your inhibitions, if you let go of those situations that's keeping you from being great. All right, that's my spill. I'm going to keep doing this through the class. I want you guys to continue to stay motivated, and that's why I'm going to throw that in. All right, so boom. We got those lines. All right, we're going to make a rectangle. You guys remember rectangles from elementary? We're going to make a rectangle. Let me know when the last time you created a rectangle. I want to get this class interactive. When was the last time that you drew a rectangle? We're going to have fun on this last class because, this is our last one for the week. So let me know, when was the last time that you did a rectangle? All right, when was the last time that you drew a rectangle? We're going to do a very thin one. All right, very thin rectangle. When was the last time, just type it in, text it in. When was the last time that you drew a rectangle? Because that's not a common shape for people to be doing. I know some of you guys are working in different places where you have to be on a computer all day. Most of us are on a computer all day. We're driving, we're talking, we're trying to teach our kids. And when was the last time that we did a rectangle? Okay, we say December. Somebody said Hakuna Matata. It means no worries. And that's it. This class is about no worries. Let's have some fun with it. December was the last time that someone did a rectangle. Anybody else? When was the last time that you created a rectangle? All right, so there go a rectangle right here. It's looking good. Now from that rectangle, we're going to make two lines coming down. All right, actually from that triangle. All right, see the edge of that triangle right there and right there. We're going to make two lines coming straight through that rectangle, coming straight down. Again, in order to make a better line, you got to give yourself reference points. So let's make some reference points for the people who may be struggling with that. Reference point, coming straight down. All right, you can use this to guide yourself. You want to be perfect. Coming down, mark it, coming down, mark it. Now, thing is, you might be doing this on a, look at that. Can't even remember the last time you did a rectangle. Yeah. See? Thanks to Paint with Faith. Let's get you back acclimated. All right? So, the best way to be able to connect those lines, and remember, if you're doing this on the easel, if you're watching me, if you're doing this on the table, it's easier for you to do a straight line than it is for me. I'm holding this up and I'm painting on an angle. So you got it. If I can do it, you can do it. All right. I want that to be your theme for this year. If I can do it, you can do it. All right. Yes, we switched to the small brush. All right. We've been using the small brush since we started the lighthouse. All right. Make sure you're paying attention. I'm going to drop your conduct grade for not paying attention. Okay. So we switched to the small brush. Small brush are for details. All right. Here we go. So we're going to come here and we're going to connect this line and connect this line. All right. Small brush coming straight through there. Boom, connected. I don't know if that line is straight. I can't tell from my angle. It looks good to me. It looks good to me. I'll take it. You can make your lighthouse as wide or as thin as you want. It's up to you. All right, coming back down. I'm going to try to connect that line. I don't know if it's perfect. Let's see. Boom, done it. All right, that's looking nice. That's looking nice. I'll take it. All right, so we got the foundation for the lighthouse. We're looking good. Looking good. All right, here we go. I'm going too fast. Okay, I'll slow it down. I'll slow it down. I'll slow it down. That's why I do the motivation in between, so you can go ahead and do what you need to do. All right. I throw the motivation in between, so you can do what you need to do on your steps. All right. So far we got the triangle. I'll walk you step by step again if you missed it. We start off with a straight line in the middle. We did an arrow on top, so we looked like an arrow. Okay. Now we close this line in and made this triangle. All right, see that? I'll bring it closer. All right, then after that, we made a rectangle. I asked you about the rectangle. I gave you about 2 minutes. Went on a whole spiel about rectangles. All right. Some people say they can't remember. Some people said December. So we did the rectangle. Then we gave 2 reference points. 1, 2, 1, 2. And then we connected those lines straight through. I'll slow down for you. I don't want you guys to get lost. All right, but so far we have a transparent or glass lighthouse. That's not what it's going to look like, but that's what it looks like right now. It's looking good. I'm loving it. Make sure if you have some thick paint on there, you smoothen it out. Some of these steps, the paint has to be dry. And so that's why I'm going in a certain process. And I want certain things to be dry before we go to that next step. All right. So far, we're looking good. I'm loving it. I'm liking it. Right now, I'm going to take the small brush, getting some more black. All right, now that we have the shape of the lighthouse, we can start filling it in. So we're going to fill in that triangle. Fill in that triangle. That's the top. All right. Get that filled in nice and right. It's looking good. Looking good, looking good. I'm gonna take the brush the wide way instead of the thin way. The wide way, and I'm just gonna create, as a matter of fact, I'm not gonna even bother it. I'll do it at the end. I'll do it at the end. All right. Take the wide brush and we're gonna fill in this little balcony area where the lighthouse keeper. We'll fill that in. Lighthouse keeper will stand out there. He'll look for oncoming ships. He'll honk that horn, let people know they're getting too close to the rocks. You don't want his house destroyed. All right, so we're filling that in. Looking good. These lines kind of wiggly, but I don't mind. I'm happy with what I got. Now, we're taking our small brush. You can fill the whole thing in with your small brush. Go for it. I'm not going to. I'm going to switch to my big brush now because I'm going to fill in this big area. So I'm switching to my big brush. Switching to the big brush, getting some more black. And I'm going to fill in the rest of the lighthouse. All right. I'm just going to go straight down. You can go left and right at this time. It's up to you, whatever is feeling good. All right, but I want to kind of pull that paint through. I don't want it to be too thick. All right, got some more students on here. Hey, listen, make sure you guys are sharing these videos. All right, sharing these videos with your friends. You got some kids at home. Tell them to sit down, grab some crayons, grab some markers, grab some colored pencils, and they can paint with me. This is going to be a great experience for them. This is the last class for the spring break. All right, we're going to be moving to our digital platform coming soon, so y'all look out for that as well. But if you have some senior citizens at the house, if you're a senior citizen and you want to paint with us, if you got some cousins or some kids running around, tell them to sit down. We're going to do some paint with faith with Mr. Davis or Coach Davis or whatever. Whatever you need to do. I need to get me a paintbrush. Listen, we got paintbrushes at Joann's Fabrics. We got paintbrushes at Michael's. You can go to the dollar store. They may have some brushes as well. Sister Hinton, you live right down the street from me. You should have let me know. I could have gave you some materials. But what we're looking to do through this event is we're going to be able to ship you or bring you some. We're a mobile company, so we're going to be able to bring you your materials. You pay for them. We'll bring you your materials, and then we'll give you the lesson. All right. So that's what we're going to transition into doing. So if you need materials, we're going to set that up for you. You pay for your materials for the week, and you'll be able to paint with us for a whole week or at least 5 classes. All right. So. Guys, look forward to that. I'm very excited to get you going with that. All right, you just got a brother painting with us. Very good. All right, I'm glad y'all painting with me. Listen, make sure y'all take pictures, take some progress pictures, and post it. I want to see what you guys are doing. You can win some free T-shirts, win some free supplies. All right, through these art classes, but you got to make sure you send me what you got and you post it on your page. All right. Oh, again, we're gonna fill this all up. Now I gave you enough time to fill that up. All right. I gave you enough time. Make sure you smoothen that paint out all the way. Smooth it out as much as possible. You can buy your materials online. I'm not sure of what the vendors are doing or how it's affecting them, but you can buy your materials online as well. And we're going to be delivering materials through the duration to kind of help people get through this process and get to the next level, and so they can be able to participate in these classes. Smooth all this out. We want this nice and dry. All right, we're going to smooth all that out, nice and dry. Paint it thorough. When you look at that, you can see the paint kind of drying. When it's shiny like that, I mean, it's still kind of wet. I'm going to paint it in, make it nice and dry. Use all the sides of the brush, smooth it out all the way, pull it down. Do what you need to do. All right, so we got our lighthouse built out. That's looking good. All right, I'm liking it. I'm loving it. That's looking good. All right, what you guys think? Looking good? All right, thanks for joining in, Brother Smith. Appreciate you. All right, here we go. Tell it again. If you want your kids to do this, you can do it with markers, color pencils, crayons. This is the last class for spring break. 1 p.m. You could go back on our Facebook page to see what we've done so far. Go ahead and change your water. That's good. I don't change my water because it doesn't matter. The water may be dirty. As long as you clean that brush thoroughly, it's fine. All right. I change my water at the very end once I'm done. Don't miss this next step. It's very important. All right. So it's looking good. Looking good. We got our lighthouse. Let me know what you think. Give me some likes. Make some suggestions. This is an interactive class. We're going to have fun with this class. This is one of my favorite paintings. One of my favorite paintings because it just gives you vision. Again, within our theme of what we're doing And my favorite book always says, where there is no vision, the people perish. The lighthouse reminds us that even though times are dark, even though there's a storm, even though there's a situation, even though there's a challenge somewhere, through all that, there is a light shining somewhere. And that light is to give us the vision, to give us the steps to take us in the direction that we need to go, to avoid us from the directions that we don't need to go. And that's why this lighthouse is very important. And this is why I love this painting so much. Not only that, but I love to paint clouds, and I love to teach people to paint clouds. And so, and this nice purple background also adds the effect of what we're doing. So this is just one of my favorite paintings of all time. And now that your water has changed, let's move forward. All right, so we're gonna clean our black off our big brush. I'm gonna switch back to our small brush. Let me clean this real good because we're gonna be going to white. So make sure your brush is really clean from top to bottom. You can use a washcloth to dry your brush. You can use a paper towel. You can use napkins. But on this particular step, I want you to make sure that you really saturated your brush. Make sure it's clean on both sides. Do a double dip if you need to, because we're going to white, and we want that white to be as pure and as clear as possible. All right. Make sure you clean up that small brush really good. Make sure no paint, it's in those edges right there. Make sure you get all that out. All right. Dry it really good from top to bottom, because we're going to use white. Now we want to have our white as pure as possible for these next couple of steps. All right. So we're switching to the small brush. Small brush, small brush, small brush. Small brush, and we're going to get some white. All right. I'm going to load our brush with white. That's looking good. And we're going to do a dot right here. All right. You see that? That's where the light is coming from. All right. Go ahead and do that dot. Nice medium-sized circle. Try to stay within that little rectangle on the right. Only do one. All right. Don't do two. Only do one. Okay. Don't get caught up. Don't get excited. I know some of you are excited. You just want to do dots and light everywhere. All right. Stay right there with that one dot. Okay. Now, these next couple steps are going to be very specific because I want you to get this right. And it's very important. A lot of people get frustrated on these steps. A lot of people may get confused on these steps. But I'm going to give you, because it's a virtual class and you can have the interaction that we normally may not get in the normal classes, a different class setting, a different virtual space. You can type certain questions. I can give you an answer directly. Not only that, but we're up close and personal. Normally in a class, we may not be this close, and it's other people to attend to. But right now, it's just me and you. All right, you got a personal art teacher right here in your space. And so if you have to ask questions, if you're confused, if something's not working, you can text it right now. All right, here we go. So now, you guys remember when we were in school, we had the greater than, less than sign. All right, some people call it the alligators, or if you're a math teacher, you may know the vertices and all of those things. All right, so we're going to create that shape. So we're going to go up. Now, right now, we're going to make it look like the light starting from this point, and it's going to spread out like a light. So starting from that point, this is our point of reference, it's going to spread out. That's our vertex. All right, so we're going to take the small brush, and we're going to do a line going up at an angle. Up at an angle, very lightly. It doesn't have to be too heavy-handed. All right, up at an angle. All right, it's looking good. Looking good. All right. Then we're going to create another line. We're going to go right over that space, right over that black. Create another angle. Again, greater than, less than. Don't go too far. All right. So that's going to be the light shining. All right, looking good, looking good. All right. Very nice. So we're going to do that greater than, less than. We're going to do that angle. Small brush. Small brush. We're going to use that. Now, we're going to switch back to the dry brush technique. All right, we're going to switch back to the dry brush technique. Okay? And we're also going to switch brushes. Actually, let's stay with the small brush for a little bit just to kind of get the concept. All right? So we're going to go as far as we can with the brush. All right? You see how I'm moving my whole arm? Let me get back. So I'm painting with my whole arm. All right? I'm not staying close and tight. I'm just my whole arm, and I'm pulling out as far as I can. All right, with the brush. I'm pulling out as far as I can until that brush gets dry. All right, I'm pulling out as far as I can until that brush gets dry. We want it to fade out. We want to use all the paint on that brush. You can even hear the sound. You can even hear that sound of that brush on the canvas. That's how you know you're doing it right. You want to hear those rivets, you want to hear those lines, you want to even see that texture. See that texture right there? That's what you want to see. That's how you know you're doing the step right. I'm going to use all of, look, this brush is clean. All right, this brush is clean. You want to get all the paint off that brush. Dry brush technique. All right, and you see that effect of that light shining? That's what we want. All right, that's what we want. We want the effect of that light shining out of that lighthouse. All right, we don't want the white to be too thick. All right, we want it to be kind of translucent. All right, we don't want to overpower the painting. We don't want to overpower the clouds. And especially in this area, we want it to be faded out. All right, so we're going to do it again. All right, I'm going to use the big brush this time. I'm going to use it a thin way first, all right, to create these lines. All right, so we want to paint out, up, in the middle, and then down. Up, in the middle, and then down. We're going to do hit all those angles, all right, as we paint. All those angles. I'm doing thin lines first. Thin lines first just to get the effect. All right. And we want to paint till that paint dries out on the end. All right. We want it to fade out. All right. Then I'm going to take the wide part of the brush and I'm going to feather it out. Long, full strokes. You should hear it. You hear that? Let me know if you hear it. Say yes if you hear that. Let me know if you hear that texture. That's what you need to hear. And by the time you get to the clouds, it should be faded all the way out. All right, let me know if you hear it. Very good. All right, so we got this lighthouse. Yes, you hear it. Thank you. I want to make sure I'm doing a good job. I can't hear what you guys are hearing. I only can hear what's going on over here. All right. So again, want to have that light shining. You want to have that texture popping. And you want it to fade at the end. All right. Now, if you're not getting that fade effect, let me know. Let me know, because all you have to do is clean that brush off. Clean that brush off. Take the clean brush, and you'll already have some paint left in there. And you just go in with the clean brush and keep going until it fades off. You can pick up the little extra pieces of paint on the end, and you can see them right there. They're starting to pick up, and I'm going to just fade them out. All right. It's okay to paint over the clouds. It's okay to paint over the black. In art, you have to learn to overlap. In life, you have to learn to overlap. You may be a mother. You may be a working mother. You have to overlap some things. You may have a job and have a business. You might have to overlap some things. You may have a peanut butter with some jelly. Sometimes you just got to overlap some things. All right. In life, you got to be able to learn to overlap. All right. In art, because art imitates life, you have to be able to overlap. You have to know some stuff is in the background that you got to get over. There's some things in the middle ground that you got to get over so that you can be in the foreground. All right. So that's looking good. I'm loving this painting. Again, this is one of my favorite, all-time favorite paintings. I love to paint this. I love the purple sky. I love the effect of the lights going into the sky. I love the contrast of the dark and the light of the lighthouse. This is just one of my all-time favorite paintings. All right. This is a Paint with Faith staple painting, actually. All right. So it's looking good. Now, if you want to add some more stuff, I've never done it, but let's try it. All right, let's try it. I've never added anything in the background, but let's add, a couple mountains back there. I've never done it before, but this is a live class. We can experiment. Say yes if you'd like to experiment and throw some mountains back there. You don't have to do this step. This is just an extra step right here. That's good. I see somebody thanking us or, getting involved. I appreciate that. So we're going to make some mountains back here. Just a small mountain range, okay? Just a small mountain range. And I'm just going to come here and create a little bit of mountains right on top of that water just to separate the sky from the water going up and down. All right. You can do the line first all the way across just to separate the two. All right, and then we're just going to create very small mountain ranges or islands or whatever. They don't need to be too high because we don't want to do too much. All right, just to give some value over here. This one will be able to be a little bit higher. We just want to be able to create something in this space. It looks kind of naked over there. We don't want that to look naked. All right, I'm liking it. I've never done the mountains over here before, but let's do it today. This is a special class, special spring break session of Paint with Faith. You get the motivation, you get the art, you get the motivation. They come together as a package deal. Can we put life in the photo? Sure we can. Let's get these steps done, and then we'll add some more. You could be, listen, this is a class where you can be as creative as you want. I got a couple more steps, but listen, I'm not gonna limit what you can do in, all right? What you can do in these classes. I want you to be free to express yourself. I'm just giving you steps. I'm just giving you guidance. I'm just giving you motivation. The faith that believes you can do anything in this class is up to you. And I'm not going to stop that. All right, this is looking good. I like those mountain ranges. They kind of add a little bit of effect to it. I like it. All right, make sure your light is shining bright. All right, I don't know if you just got that buzz. I don't know if you just got that buzz that says people are told to stay in their house. But we're back. Okay, so I'm just gonna break this up a little bit, make this a little bit wider. All right, make this a little bit wider as well on this side, just to give it some more variant. You can make a couple more lines. You can make a little railing if you want. Those are super detail. All right, super details. If you want to add that in there, these are super small details. You have to use the thin side of the brush to do that. But I'm just showing you some more stuff that you can do, all right? Super details if you want to go in, all right? Thanks for joining in. Listen, somebody said I'm moving too fast still. Okay, I'll slow down. That's why I'm giving you the motivation in between to help kind of pace us out. Again, if your kids are in the house, you could go step by steps. Oh, go back to what I said, no problem. All right, so we did the mountain ranges back here. All right, now we're staying with our small brush. Okay, the alert stopped you too. So small brush. What I did was I created very detailed railing right there in the top. You need a small brush to do that. You don't have to do these steps. I'm just giving extra steps. All right, if you want to make your brush flat and make thin lines, you want to pull one side of the brush, flip it over, pull the other side of the brush. And when you look at the brush, this is wide and that's thin, all right? And we're just gonna use just the tip to do thin lines. All right, so what I did is I put a little railing over here. All right, a little railing right here. And I just came down with some vertical lines. Very detailed work. Again, if you feel hesitant to do that, you don't have to. I didn't want to go into the light, so I just cut it off right there. All right. Make sure this is all dry. This should be dry right now. See, you should be able to rub your hands over it and feel that, because we're gonna make something on top of that. Okay. Gonna make something on top of that. All right. Again, if the kids are in the house, they can follow along. Get your markers or crayons or color pencils. Anybody can do these classes. Just follow the steps. The best part about being at home is if you do the first one and you say, you know what, I think I can do this better, you can do it again. All right. That's the great thing about the virtual class that you can't get from the normal Paint with Faith class. I'm not going to give you another canvas in the normal Paint with Faith class. You have to go to another class. But with these particular classes, you can get your canvas, your paint. You can do a second class right after. You can go back and watch the old classes that I've done. Today, there will be 5 classes. Go ahead and try it with the kids. Yeah, you can do it with markers, colors, crayons, color pencils. Shantae put it on her page. Her sons did it. They're beautiful flowers. I showed it to my kids. They said, wow, I didn't know Justin and Jaden could paint. I didn't know they had art skills. I didn't know they could draw. But all it took was just the right lesson, and sometimes it only takes the right teacher. And that's a point right there. Sometimes you may have learned some lessons, but maybe you learned them by the wrong teacher. Maybe you've been in some relationships and you thought relationships didn't work, but maybe it was the wrong person. So sometimes the lessons we learn are from the wrong person, or maybe the right person. Sometimes we learn from the bad situation so we can know what the good situation is going to look like. Sometimes we have some rainy days so we can understand what the sun is going to really look like. Sometimes we have some windy days so we can know what days we need to put a jacket on, all right? So we got to be able to take the lessons from the right person and understand that there's only lessons, there never any L's, all right? We don't take any losses, we only get lessons through life and situations. Again, there's no mistakes in art, just room for opportunity, and art represents life. And right now, our life is our canvas, and we painting it with faith. All right, so that's looking good. We're gonna put some highlights in there. All right, we're also gonna put some what's called contrast in art. When you put light against dark, you're gonna always get a nice, beautiful effect. So we're taking our small brush, we're cleaning it off. And again, I love the interaction for this class. This is the most interaction we got all week. I appreciate everybody joining in, chiming in, putting their comments, quotes. Make sure you put your likes. Make sure you share this with some people who can use this. Again, this is for senior citizens that may be stuck in the house. This is for kids who may be stuck in the house. And most of all, this is a good family activity. All right? Because you're going to get the art lesson that your kids may love art. You're also going to get the motivation that your kids may need to get on to the next step. They may be learning how to ride a bike. They may be failing at math or English or something, and they feel discouraged. But you got to let them know if they believe they can do it, you can achieve. And sometimes you got to be able to believe for them. All right, you may have to give that faith and pass it on to them. You got to exercise your own faith muscle and then try and push that faith right into that next person. All right, it's looking good. Small brush should be clean at this point. All right, we're going to get some white, and we're going to do some very thin detailed lines. All right, some very thin detailed lines at this point. And the placement of the lines that we're going to put is going to be very imperative and important to make this look like a realistic painting. All right, again, art is an optical illusion. We're making the viewer think that what it is. All right, we're painting a picture to make them believe what we're doing. And right now we want them to believe that it's a lighthouse and that there's light shining back on the lighthouse that's coming from the light. So we're taking our small brush, all right, and we're getting some white. Again, the technique, I like that messy plate, all right? So the technique we're gonna take our brush, we're gonna get it in the white, and we're gonna smooth the white out on both sides, all right? Make sure your brush is clean. All right, we're gonna smooth the white out on both sides. So pull left, pull right, flip it, all right? Flatten it on both sides so that when we pull our brush out, this is wide, this is thin. All right, so we want to have a nice thin brush. Now, in art, you have to learn where the light source is coming from. The light source is very important when you're doing any painting, any picture, any drawing. I got a light right in front of me right now. The light is shining right in the middle. But in most cases, you can see the light is shining on one side. It's going to be dark on the other side. All right, when you have light on one side, you usually have dark on the other side. All right, because they're opposing each other. Again, we're making very thin lines, just using just the tip of the brush. All right, and we're gonna do it right on this edge. All right, just on this right side, only on the right side of the top of the lighthouse. All right, only on that right side. All right, the light is shining only on that right side. All right, bringing it back, only on that right side. All right, don't go on the left because the light is only on the right side of the canvas. All right, this is gonna make the optical illusion, make it look realistic. Once you put light on this side, it's gonna look funny. But if you did it already, let's get some black, paint it back out. Again, there's no mistakes in art. It's looking good. All right, so we're gonna create some more light right along this edge. Right along this edge. All right, you can chop the line up a little bit to create some texture. We know lighthouses usually have brick. They're gonna be bumpy. All right, so we're gonna have that little edge right there. Just go right against that edge. All right, don't go on the outside, go right on top of the black. Okay, so you don't wanna go outside, you wanna go right on top of that black. All right, still following that shape. All right, I'm gonna put a little bit right here. We're not gonna put it at the bottom because no light will be down there, just on that side. All right, it's looking good, looking good. Now we're gonna create the illusion that there's light hitting the rocks. All right, so light's gonna hit the rocks all around. So we're gonna make very bumpy, rough lines. All right, thin lines nonetheless, but they're gonna be rough. All right, I'm gonna just overlay some of the lines. They're gonna overlap in certain spaces. I'm bringing this real close because I'm doing very, very fine details over here. All right, we don't want the lines to be too solid either. We want to chop them up. All right, chopping up those lines. We don't want light to be everywhere. Chopping up those lines. All right, if you're at home with the kids, this is a beautiful, great project for them. Again, we're gonna be bringing out some packages, hopefully starting next week, where you can get your art materials. We'll deliver them to you and you'll be able to do your art class. All right, we're gonna chop this up, put as many rocks as you want down there. I'm gonna come a little bit into where the lighthouse is, creating some more rocks, very rough, organic lines, chopping it up. The light is shining here. It's coming down. It's reflecting right on that surface. That's what we want it to look like. It's looking good. All right, coming back so you can see the whole thing. Yeah, that's looking great. All right, looking good. I'm gonna add a little bit of light in this area over here as well. There's a pole right here. So I'm gonna add a little bit of light on this pole right here. All right, a little bit light on that pole and a little bit light on that edge. All right, you see that? The light is shining. Again, if you want to add other effects, if you want to have a small brush and you want to put a little light housekeeper in there, listen, you like it, I love it. All right, I'm going to add a little bit of light on this railing as well, just a little bit. All right, we don't want to have too much. We don't want to do too much with the light. There's another pole right here. We're going to add the light on that as well. Anything that's on this right side is going to have a light source. Okay, so even with these little lines, just going in with very tiny details. All right, very tiny details, just to give the illusion. All right, give the illusion that there's light shining over there. All right, and since we have this little edge here, I'm going to put a little bit, just a little bit, just to create that edge. I'm being very delicate with the brush. My college professor said I paint like a woman because I'm very delicate with the brush. Some people may have been offended. I take it as a compliment. All right. So again, we do a motivational painting class. Thank you for joining in. We're still going. We're not done yet. We still got a couple more steps to go. Again, this is one of my favorite paintings, and this is the last day of the classes. And I'm gonna take my time with it. You can enjoy it. You can stay with us. Give us your comments, your questions. Give us some likes. Share this. Listen, one thing I didn't say is if you want to support what we're doing, hit up our Cash App, hit up our PayPal. If you want to support what we're doing, we can't come to your house anymore, so we're going to come to you via virtual. So we got some classes that we want to be able to do virtually. So if you want to support what we're doing, hit us up, Cash App, Zelle. Support what we're doing, and we're going to keep pushing. Even though we're a mobile company that comes to you, we can't come to you, but we still got to keep it going. All right. So support what we're doing. All right, as well. So we got some of that light source popping now. There's a couple things we can do here. All right. There's a couple things we can do here. You can actually design your lighthouse with different colors, or you can keep it black and put some bricks on it, and I'll show you both steps. All right, just so you can know. All right, so if you wanted to just give the illusion that it's an old brick lighthouse, you just want to come about halfway in, very detailed, very slow. Take your time, space it out, and we're going to create kind of like a brick wall look. All right, a brick look. All right, about halfway, just tapping. You don't want your lines to be too solid either. You want them to kind of be chopped up. It's still dark, so we can't see all the details, so we don't want to create all the details. All right, so we'll go halfway, a brick right there, and then the light will hit vertically. And this is the key. This is the key. We're going to come down. All right, and we're going to skip one and go down again. So we'll go down again. We don't want to make the lines too solid. Go down a little bit, chop it up. Skip one, go down a little again, chop it up. Skip another one, coming down. Skip another one, coming down. All right, we can even go a little bit more down here if we need to. All right, so we got that brick look. Then we're going to do it again. We're going to shift over just a little bit, coming down with the brick look. Skip one, coming down. We don't want those lines to be too solid. Again, I'm painting at an angle. I don't even know what I'm doing over here. Coming down. Skip a space. Coming down. Skip a space. Coming down. All right. So now we got kind of like a brick look. All right. That's looking good. That's looking good. All right. Very nice. I'm going to clean my brush off a little bit. And I'm just going to pull and fade these lines a little bit. So my brush is clean. I'm just going to pull, fade this out a little bit just to get that look. It still seems kind of bright to me. So I'm going to pull some of this white paint off. Pull some of this white paint off. All right, pull it off, pull it through, let it fade out with a clean brush. So that's the brick look right there. All right, now, if you don't want the brick look and you want to have your lighthouse that has those like stripes on it, listen, feel free to do that. I don't want to limit what you're doing. So I'm going to do both. All right, I'm going to do both. I'm going to go ahead, and it doesn't have to be white. It can be any color you want. Just keep in mind when you're painting on black, it's going to kind of be faded, which is good because it's nighttime. So if you want to do the swirls on the lighthouse, all right, if you want to do the spiral looking lighthouse, you could go through and you want to do it on an angle, and it still should fade into the black. All right, still should fade into the black. All right, so you want to do those stripes on the lighthouse, still should fade to the black. So you're going to pull like the dry brush technique that we've practiced. I'm going to come around, hit it on the same angle, come down a little bit, angle. All right. Again, taking that brush, coming down a little bit, hitting that angle, pulling, and we letting it fade. As we pull, it should fade out just like that, because we want to create the illusion that it's still dark on this side. All the light is on the other side, so it's dark. Pulling it again, come around. And you might want to watch these steps before you jump into it, because I'm going to show a couple ways to do this. All right. So there you go. You got your lighthouse with the lines. Now, if you don't want to use white, you can throw blue in there as well. I'm going to just paint right over the white. Blue. All right. Again, same effect. We're going to just pull it. All right. I'm going to do red and blue just so you can kind of see. Come down blue right here. Skip one. The yellow may not work unless you got some good expensive yellow. But if you don't, if you got some cheap yellow, it may not paint over. You could do green. Look at that. Oh yeah. I'm feeling that. I don't know about you, but I'm feeling that. All right. And then I'll even show you with the red. All right. And go right on top of that white. Let me pull that red. Kind of looks like a barber pole, but that's okay. I don't mind. Everybody needs a haircut. Looking good. Looking good. Just pulling that, and you want to pull and fade it right into there. Now the best thing about this black is, if you don't like something, you just take that black and you can just paint it out. All right, start over. You know, if you don't like something, just paint it out. If I want to paint out these bricks, take that black, paint it out. No mistakes in art, just room for opportunity. All right, just take that black, paint it out. All right, take the black, paint it out. All right, no skin off my back. It don't hurt. I can start over. If I don't like something, if I mess up, just go back over it with black. Take my time, paint it over, fade it in with black. All right. So this lighthouse is really busting. It's really busting. I'm loving it. It's looking good. All right. I feel like something's missing, but I'm gonna keep it right there for a little bit. All right. Let you look at it. Let you see it up close. I'll let you take your time. I'm not gonna rush you. All right. I want to keep you motivated. Again, if you just tuning in, go back to the beginning. We had some motivational words about what the lighthouse is about what the lighthouse means for you. It's a way for you to find your way. All right. This lighthouse, when I hang it up, it's going to be a way for me to find my way. All right. It's going to be a reminder that I can find my way back to where I need to go. It's going to be a reminder that sometimes there's going to be some challenges. There's going to be some storms. There's going to be some heartaches. There's going to be some frustrations. But I got to be able to find my way back with the lighthouse. This painting will be a reminder of that. I know you can't see it. It's kind of high. But, all right, there you go. That's better. All right. So this lighthouse, once you hang it on your wall, it's going to be a constant reminder of where you came from and what you can do. Not only that, it's going to be a position that you've been able to take something that you've never done before, all right, a blank canvas, and create a beautiful picture. You know, that's going to be able to sustain you and just be a reminder that you started from nothing. All right, you started from nowhere. You started from a blank canvas. You didn't know what was going to turn out. You didn't know what was going to happen. You didn't know what was going to take place in the situation. But yet, once you went through the process, you finished it. The goal of this painting is not to have the most beautiful painting in the world. The goal of this painting is not to be the best artist. The goal of this class and this painting is not to be a person where you can say, hey, listen, you can buy this artwork. It can happen. Now listen, if you decide to sell your artwork, you know, make sure you send me my 10%. You know, that's all I ask. All right. But that's not the goal of the class. The goal of the class is go through a process where you can exercise your faith. All right, where you can take the unknown and bring it and manifest it to the known. That's what the point of this class is about. That's what we're doing with Paint with Faith. We want you to take the unknown position of not knowing what's next, not knowing what's going to happen, not knowing if you have the right skills, not knowing if you have the right gift, not knowing if you have the right mindset, not knowing if you have the right education. All of those things will take place when you first get started with doing anything. All right, and Paint with Faith wants you to be reminded that you can do anything you put your mind to. If you believe it, you can achieve it. All right, and so with Paint with Faith, we want you to understand that it's not about the painting being beautiful. It's really about the manifestation of your faith. It's really about you taking a lesson of, or an objective lesson of not knowing what's going to happen, and then going through the steps in the process, being motivated, being guided, and exercising your faith to know that you can achieve any goal, dream, or things that you want to be able to achieve in your life, or desires. You can do all those things. Our motto and our logo is you can do all things. Our motto is your life is a canvas painted with faith. You got to be able to take that mindset and know that you can make your life what you want it to be. Your brush is part of your tools. All right? Your faith is part of your tools. Your plate is part of your tools. Your canvas is your life. You got to be able to put everything on the line in order to achieve that goal, that dream, or that desire. And that's what Paint with Faith is, to exercise your faith. All right, so we're not done. We got a little bit more. We're going to pull this down. We got a little bit more for you to do, but we're almost done. All right, I was giving you some time to catch up, design your lighthouse. This is looking amazing. I'm happy with it. I'm going to keep it hung up as a reminder for myself. But this is one of my favorite parts, and this is one of the parts that people get kind of hesitant or get scared. But I want you to try it. You know, if you don't try anything, nothing's going to happen. If nothing changes, then nothing changes. Go ahead and step out on faith. Go ahead and take that leap. Go ahead and try something different. You know, this is an opportunity. This painting class is just an opportunity to take a chance on something that you don't know about, and then be able to do it with something bigger and better. If I decided to do this painting, which is a small exercise of faith, then maybe I can go buy that investment property. Maybe I could invest in those stocks. Maybe I could go ahead and learn how to swim, you know, living in South Florida. Maybe I could go ahead and learn a new language. You know, this is a great, maybe I could finish that book that I've been always trying to read. Maybe I can do that that painting that I always wanted to paint. You know, maybe I wrote that song or that poem that I always wanted to write. This is just the opportunity for you to exercise the faith you have. And the thing about faith is not something that you get. It's something that you always have. You just have to exercise and activate it. All right? Everyone has muscles, but not everybody's muscles show. Everybody has faith, but not everybody's faith shows. And that's what's important. All right? So let's get finished with this painting. Again, we're going to be doing this last couple steps. If you like what we're doing, if you want to support what we're doing, make sure you hit us up in the Cash App. Make sure you hit us up with the PayPal. We could take Venmo. We could take Zelle. Just hit us up. Instant message us or direct message us, or send us a message if you want to be able to support what we're doing. We love what we're doing here with Paint with Faith. We want to be able to activate and encourage more people, and we're very excited to keep going and doing what we're doing. So these last couple steps, just stay with us for a little bit. We're going to take our small brush. We're staying with black, and again we're going to be making very thin lines. Very thin lines. We're going to pull and pull on both sides of the brush. Pull and pull. And we want our brush to be very thin. All right, we should be able to turn it sideways and it'll be thinner than the wire brush. And we're just going to use just the tip. Now, back in the day, we used to make birds. All right, we're going to do some birds. Now, this step is the heartbreaker. All right, or it could be the maker of your painting. It's up to you. You have to decide what you want to be able to do with it. But I want you to take that chance and try it out. So we're going to make two birds. Now, back in the day, we used to make these M&M birds. All right. Just like that. Y'all remember that? Okay, shake your head no, because we're not going to do that. All right, we're not going to make those M&M birds. And then when we're young, you just finish up the drawing of our landscape or something. We just do like a little check to make the birds. Y'all remember that? No, we're not going to do that. Let me know if you remember that. Put yes if you used to make the M&M birds. Put a check if you used to make the check birds. I want to know what you guys used to do. All right, because we're finna learn a new way. And sometimes you got to give your old way to learn a new way. Because if you stay the same person that you are now, all right, you'll never be the person that you can become. The only way you are where you are now is because you stayed the same. All right, you got to be able to change who you are, change your mindset, change the things in your life, sometimes change the people around you if you want to be better. Now, if you stay with those people, if you want to stay with those people that's in that small circle, then maybe your circle, happy with that. But if you want to be bigger and better, sometimes you got to meet some bigger and better people and take some bigger and better challenges, all right? So some people say they use both styles for the birds. Well, let me show you the new way. All right, here we go. The Paint with Faith way. Again, I'll show it again if you just joining in. We want to pull our small brush. Pull pull all the excess paint on your brush. You just want to have a little bit of paint, and we're going to turn our brush. This is the wide way. This is the thin way. All right, see how pointy that tip is? We want it sharp like a pencil. All right, and we're just going to use the tip of the brush. We're going to do 2 strokes. All right, count them. 1, 2. 2 strokes. We're not doing M's. We're not doing checks. Just the tip of the brush. All right, just see that little edge that's pointing up? It's blurry, but that's what we're going to use. All right, we're going to throw some birds up. Now, you can put your birds wherever you want in the sky. I like mine to be flying low, right above the water. Normally, I put it right where those mountains are. I could put them where the water is, but then they'll look like they're in the water. But I'm going to keep them in the sky, right in the midst of this area, all right? So let's keep them over to the right so that they won't go into our light. So I'm just using just the tip of my brush, all right? And you wouldn't be able to get this up close in person, all right? You can only do this on the digital world because I won't want you that close to me, okay? So here we go. Here we go. So we're going to go right, and then we're going to go left. We're going to go right, and then we're going to go left. All right, starting from the same vertex. So I'm just using just the tip of that brush. All right, just the tip. Just the tip. Y'all see that? I'm going to go right. All right. You see that? I'm going to come back to that same middle point, and I'm going to go left. Just using just the tip of the brush. And as I pull away from the canvas, I'm going to be pulling away with the brush. All right. So we got one bird. One bird so far. It's looking good. All right. I'm going to make another bird a little bit smaller because it's farther back. Just the tip of the brush. 2 strokes. 1, 2. Make sure you lift up your brush between each stroke. Make sure you lift up your brush between each stroke. I'm going to make one over here a little bit bigger. He's the leader. He's in the front. Barely touching the canvas. All right. And let's do about 5 birds. All right. Bring another one down here, medium size. 2 strokes, left and right. All right. Just using the tip of that brush. Don't press too hard. Just using just the tip of that brush. And let's do one last one up here. 1 and 2. All right, it's looking good. Very nice. All right, I don't know where those birds are going. I don't know where they're coming from, but they made it. All right, maybe they just following the light. Maybe they want to be able to see some food. Maybe they're staying away from the sharks in the water. Maybe they're staying away from the whale that's about to jump. All right. Well, we got our lighthouse. The lighthouse reminds us, all right, that there's a direction that we should be going, all right, or that we should be going away from or going to. Maybe we're trying to make it to land because we've been lost at sea for days. Maybe we need to go in the other direction because the lighthouse shows us that that's the wrong way. So this lighthouse is a reminder that there's a direction and a place that we need to be going. And the lighthouse reminds us that we need to be able to have that vision. And as I said before, my favorite book says, where there is no vision, the people perish. And where there's no vision in your life, your dreams will perish. Where there is no vision in your life, your goals will perish. Where there's no dreams in your life, your desire, your passion will perish. You got to be able to have some vision. You got to be able to see something that's not there and be able to manifest it in your life. The faith that you have is a substance of things that you hope for and the evidence of things that's not seen. You got to be able to have some things that you're hoping for, even though you don't see them in your life. This lighthouse is a constant reminder that you could be able to see the things in your mind first or in your mind's eye so that they can manifest into your reality. All right. Again, Paint with Faith is a motivational painting class. That's what we're about. We want you to stay motivated. We want you to stay activated. We want you to believe that you can do all things because we believe that you can do all things. All right. We want you to know that if you believe, you can achieve. And there's also no mistakes in art, just room for opportunity. So even though there's no mistakes in art, there's also no mistakes in life, because the mistakes that you think you made were only lessons, not losses. So I want you to move forward. I keep on moving forward with what we're doing. Go back and watch the story of the captain of the sea. And in this story, it will tell you and remind you of how sometimes the lighthouse will guide you in the direction you need to go or the direction that you should have went. So we're going to close on today. If you like what we're doing, you want to support what we're doing, make sure you hit us up in the Cash App. Make sure you hit us in the PayPal. We thank you so much for joining us. This has been a great class. One of my favorite paintings, the lighthouse. All right, the lighthouse. If you want to add more stuff to your water, if you want to create some reflections of the mountains You can do that as well. I just thought about it. If you want to do a reflection in the water, I'm going to take some dark blue and just kind of chop it up. Mixing some blue and some black together. And I'm just going to chop it up so it looks like a reflection in the water of the mountains. If you want to do that. All right, I just thought about it. It looked kind of plain to me. And I want you to understand that you can do this class with your family. We'll leave it up for about a week. And you can go back and watch it, do it with your family. But we're going to be able to build an online platform while most people are stuck in the house, not being able to go anywhere. And I'm just doing this very lightly. And you're going to be able to still enjoy the motivation and the painting classes that we have. I'll zoom in for you. Show you all the details. Alright, so I just made some reflection of the mountains and the water. I mixed some blue, I mixed some black together. Coming in, all the details right there. This is looking very nice. I'm very proud of this painting. Though you may think I've done so many paintings before, every painting is different to me. Every painting is therapeutic to me. Every painting gives me a different experience. And so I'm excited to do this every day. About 9 years ago, I asked my friends a question and I asked myself a question. If I was able to do anything in life where I didn't have to worry about bills, if I didn't have to worry about paying for anything, if I didn't have to worry about the house or going to work, what would I do all day? All right, I asked myself that question and I posed that question to all my friends. And I asked them all that question. They gave very different answers. Some people said they would do absolutely nothing. Some people said that they would be a dancer. Some people said they would be a singer. Some people said they would work on cars. So I want to ask that question to you today. And the name of the book that posed the question to me is Follow Your Passion, Find Your Purpose. And the question is asked, what would you do all day if you had nothing else to worry about in life? No bills, no school, no work. What would you be doing? And I said, I will paint all day. Because paint is therapeutic, it gets me relaxed, it keeps me going. And whatever that answer is what you should be doing. And lo and behold, before Paint with Faith was created, it was already created inside of me. And now I get to paint every single day, not only for me, but individuals who want to be able to paint and be motivated to create something new in their life, to go to the next level in their life, to be motivated and achieve something that they never thought they can achieve before. And not only have that, but they have the proof. Faith is about taking the unimaginable or the thing that you never created and bringing it to life or manifesting it. And that's what's exciting about what we're doing here. And we want to continue to do it. And we thank you for your support. I'm going to ask the last question for the day for extra credit for the bonus golden star. And before extra credit A for today, what do you need to be a famous artist? All right, so go ahead, put the answer in. What do you need to be a famous artist? And if you took my class before, you got to have this answer. What do you need to have? And what do you need to be? Or what do you need to do to be a famous artist? All right, if you need to be a famous individual, what do you need to do? All right, and that's going to be the last art test of the day. Type it in, text it in, let me know what's the answer. You get a gold star, you get extra credit for doing that. So what do you need to have to be a famous artist? All right, let me give you about 30 more seconds. Remind you, paintwithfaith.com, log in, be motivated. Remember that your life is a canvas. You got to be able to paint it with faith. Remember, you can achieve your goals and your dreams. If you believe, you can achieve. All right, no one has the answer. No star students on today. What do you need to have to be a famous artist before we close out? So I'm getting my small brush. I'm getting some black, small brush and black. You can use white if you want. So I'm going to give you the answer since nobody got it. Nobody gets the extra credit for today. Maybe there's a delay and I didn't see it yet. So in order to be a famous artist, you need a signature. All right, so I'm going to bring my signature here. Chevis Davis. I'm going to sign it out. C, D, and then we have 2 dots. The most famous signature that you know, most famous artist that you know is Walt Disney. When you log into Disney Plus, when you go to Disney World, that is his signature. And that's what makes him famous, because they can recognize that anywhere. Thank you all for joining in. Again, hit us up on the PayPal, hit us up on the Cash App. Thank you for your support. We had a great week. We'll do a recap real quick. We painted the beautiful flowers in the vase this week. All right, we also painted the colorful parrot. All right, we also painted the beautiful landscape. You can go back and watch these videos on our Facebook page, The Beautiful Landscape. We also painted yesterday the gorgeous butterfly. All right. We also painted the fancy turtle. All right. You can always go back, watch these videos, take a chance to paint them. Hashtag us at Paint with Faith. Follow us at Paint with Faith. Follow us on Instagram, YouTube, and also on Facebook. Let us know what you think. We want to give you some extra credit. We want to give you some bonus materials if you show us what you did. Chevis Davis here, your life coach, your master artist. We bring it together to give you Paint with Faith. Remember, your life is a canvas, painted with faith.